Hey everybody, it's Dr. Cara, and in this video I am going to dive deeper into daily self-care for animal communicators, why it's important, what happens when we don't take care of ourselves, and what happens when we do, the big difference. And I'm going to give you a little window into my daily routine, why it works for me, and what the components are that I think are contributing. So let's dive right in. Self-care, it's a big topic, and it can incorporate many things, everything from sleeping to eating to exercise to vacations to doing work that you love. It can include all of that. The question I've been getting a lot lately is, what should I do for myself on a daily basis so that I can be the best animal communicator that I can? And some other common issues that come up with people who are studying and practicing to become animal communicators is not feeling confident in their abilities, doubting themselves, second guessing themselves, feeling like they're not getting accurate information, that they're not tapping in. And my daily routine that I do for myself kind of addresses all of those things too. You'll see, I'll explain about that in a minute, but a lot of the common challenges that people face as they're becoming an animal communicator can be alleviated by a really good daily self-care routine. So of course, self-care can be incorporated on a weekly schedule as well. Like there's something you do once a week. Maybe it's a spa day or a massage or something special like that once a week, or once a month you do something, or every year you do something. Like every year I go camping with my family and a couple of other families. It's our annual event. That's part of my annual self-care. But today I want to go deeper into a daily routine and the way that I set up my day. So to me, daily self-care for animal communicators should include something that addresses our balance on all 5 levels of our being. So that's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic. And of course, there can be overlap. So you can be doing one thing that hits all 5 of those levels, or hits 2 of them, or whatever. But ideally, because we have all those 5 levels of our being, we're going to be taking care of ourselves in all 5 of those aspects of our lives. So I kind of do my daily self-care routine in 2 parts. One is my morning routine, one is my evening routine, and I just realized the third part of that is how I do my work. So we'll talk a teeny bit about that, but that could be its own video in itself. So if you are struggling with any kind of challenges with animal communication where it's not working, you can't tap in, you can't quiet your mind, you aren't receiving the information, you feel unmotivated, frustrated, tired, stressed, if you're not sleeping well, if you can't focus, if you're overthinking, if you're thinking about things after they're over, or you're just not really feeling present, like you're just not being fully here all the time, or even if you are empathic and you feel like part of the challenge of getting through the day for you is feeling other people's feelings, feeling the energy, not having that grounded, centered space inside of you to let things bounce off of you, but you're getting caught up in whatever the energy is around you. All of these things can be alleviated, fixed, balanced, reversed, however you want to think about it, with some really good daily self-care habits. And when you are practicing your daily self-care habits, what you're going to notice is you have more energy, you're more enthusiastic, you're not avoiding things so much, you're more balanced, you're relaxed, you're focused, you have mental sharpness, acuity, your intuition is right on. It's easy for you to tap into animals and animal communication, and it's easy for you to let go of it after it's done. So all of these things are are cultivated by having a practice that really balances you on all 5 levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic. So, the reasons for daily self-care are many, 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 many. And there's a million ways to do it, right? Each one of us has to come to our own daily self-care routine that fits us, that suits our lifestyle and our habits and our personality and our energy levels and our circumstances. If we're single, if we've got kids, all of those things play into it. So what I do in the morning is my daily self-care routine in the morning focuses on grounding and centering. If I start off balance and I'm kind of all over the place, I stay that way, and it's like the snowball effect. It just gets worse, and I end up exhausted and frazzled by the end of the day. So I start my day making sure that I'm grounding and centering myself. During the day when I work, I also make myself, and I literally sometimes have to make myself take breaks. I would rather just put those blinders on and power through and stay working and working, working, working. But what I notice when I do that is that I'm more tired, I'm less present, I'm less available for my family in the evenings, I'm less interested in eating healthy. I don't really feel like going for a walk or getting exercise. And so it's just one simple thing, changing my day to make sure that I take breaks where I literally stand up and walk away from my desk, is a huge part of my daily self-care. And it's probably the simplest to implement, but it is not, for me, it's not the easiest. But I really do see a big, big impact if I just get up and walk out the door of my office and come back in and sit down. Like, that's enough. So incorporating breaks during the day, not overscheduling yourself, not scheduling yourself too much back to back if you can. That is really, really key for good self-care. And then my evening routine is all about unplugging and unwinding and really kind of sinking into relaxation so that I can sleep well, so I can do it all again the next day. So good sleep is super, super important. I think good nutrition is really important. Good exercise is really important. Those, for me and my body, those are all really noticeable. I really feel the effects of those things. So I am learning, it's an ongoing process, to, make the best choices that I can, not always 100%, but as much as I can, I really do try to stick to foods and activities that I know make me feel good. And even if I do enjoy an indulgence, I try to not have it too often, because I really do feel the effects. And I think the more we become balanced, the more we notice when we're off balance. So it becomes more finely tuned. So that's, if you're thinking about a self-care routine, think about in the morning, how can I ground and center myself? And in the evening, how can I unwind and unplug and relax? And during the day, make sure you're taking those breaks. If you don't do that, try it. I know a lot of people work for like 25 minutes, take a 3-minute break, work for 50 minutes, take a 10-minute break, or break it up like that. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I find no matter what, if I just work and then take a break and come back, no matter how long that work period is, sometimes it is 20 minutes, sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 2.5 hours, but because I'm doing different activities that take different amounts of time. But when I complete something, I really try to stand up, step away from my desk, and that's complete. And then I start something new. So try that. It's, I think, super, super effective. So to give you an example of my daily self-care routine, these are the things that are incorporated into maybe 6 out of 7 days. And some parts of them are 7 out of 7 days. But I try to be gentle with myself. So I don't force myself to meditate on a day that I don't feel like it, for example. So these are my general go-to. These are the things I'm doing as a daily routine, and they are working for me to get me grounded and centered in the morning and to unplug and unwind and relax in the evening. So the first thing I do in the morning as part of my self-care routine is I walk my dogs. And we are lucky to have a beautiful park a couple of blocks away where they can go off leash. I can walk on nature trails. We go walk by the creek. They go swim in the creek. I'm surrounded by trees and birds and wildlife. And that's the first thing I do every day. And that does something to my soul. That's hard to explain, but it feels so good, so grounding, so nurturing for me. And it just gives me perspective and balance in my life. So it hits me on the physical because I'm up and I'm walking, the mental because my mind gets a chance to kind of process and wake up slowly, emotional because I feel really good, spiritual because it touches my soul in a way that it really truly is hard to explain what happens to me on a spiritual level. It's just really good. And the energetic level. So I'm moving my body, I'm moving all of my lymph, I'm moving my blood, my energy. Because of that, my energy is moving through my meridians. And so for me, my daily walk with the dogs gets all 5 levels. When we get home, the next thing that I do is I do my daily energy routine. And if you've taken a class from me, you know that that daily energy routine is grounding cord, running energy, energizing chakras, um, neutrality, center of head, and sometimes I will also call in energy through a golden sun. So those are all, energy terms, but the basic thing is I spend time every day managing my energy field, because when I manage my energy field manages everything else. So a little bit of time there working on my energy field, it pays off in all 5 of those areas as well, because our chakras manage our whole lives on every level. So if I'm paying attention to my energy and my chakras and my meridians, then I'm paying attention to my whole life. So it's like a energetic investment in myself. So that's the second thing I do in the morning. The third thing that I do is I meditate. And right now I'm doing an eco meditation created by Dawson Church, who is a fantastic scientist and researcher in energy medicine and meditation. He's an expert on all those things. I love his work and I love doing this meditation, and that's been my go-to for the last several months. I also really love the Chopra Center's primordial sound meditation. And so if I meditate more than once a day, typically I'll do a different type of meditation. And so if I'm in a waiting room for something, I'll just whip out my meditation. I'll just close my eyes and I'll start one of those kinds of meditations. I can take them anywhere. I can do them anytime. I can do them for a long time, short time, doesn't matter. The effects are the same. The benefits, the physiological benefits in your brain are incredible, and in your body also incredible. So meditation, while it quiets the mind, so we've definitely got the mental aspect of self-care here. The physical benefits are like literally in the hundreds. It's incredible how beneficial even a short amount of meditation is every day. So this is part of my daily routine. It's not so much on the physical, it's on the mental, because it definitely gives my mind that practice of quieting and centering. The emotional, it does that too, because it's so grounding and centering that my emotions get kind of like, oh, okay. If I was wound up about something, I really have a new perspective after meditation. Energetic, it also gets that. Spiritual, it is the connection to myself, my higher self, to the divine. Part of my meditation practice is sending unconditional love to every atom in the universe. So there's that spiritual aspect there. So you can see how a lot of these activities are really hitting the 5 levels of my being to help me really be balanced in all of these aspects of my life. And then the other thing that I do most days, like probably 5 or 6 out of 7, is I'll do a little bit, 10 minutes of yoga stretching. And I have a routine that I've developed over the years where I just do some easy yoga stretches with a little bit of breathing. I do some sun salutations, and I can literally do it in 10 minutes, and my body feels so much better and my mind feels better. Um, this whole routine is probably sounding like a lot. The dogs, we could go anywhere a half hour to an hour. My energy routine is literally a couple of minutes. Meditation is about 15 minutes and yoga is about 10 minutes. So we're looking at anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, but look at how many things I've hit to really take care of myself, because as an intuitive, all of these things are in play. And because we're working with energy and intuition, we're open, we're vulnerable, we really need to take good care of ourselves on these levels. And as animal communicators, our emotions are in there, and our emotions can really, our emotional buttons can get pushed. And so, because we're dealing with challenging situations, right? People come to us with problems with their pets. So we're dealing with some hard stuff. So creating that grounded, centered place inside myself, it makes me a better human. It makes me a better animal communicator. It makes me more effective for my clients, and it just enhances everything that I do. Parenting, being in a relationship with my husband, being a parent to my pets, being a parent to my kids, all of it. This is the routine that works for me. This is the timing that works for me. I am really a firm believer in the least effective dose. So if I can get the same amount of benefits in 10 minutes of yoga as 15, I'll go for 10 every time. If I can get the same benefits from meditation in 3 minutes as 20 minutes, 3 minutes is good for me. So it's really just finding what works for you. And currently this is the routine that works for me. And then I do my work during the day. And again, I schedule in breaks. I don't really follow a schedule very well, but I incorporate breaks would be a better way to say it, just to keep my energy going, to keep my focus going. And again, those breaks are hitting me on the physical level, so I'm not sitting too long, the mental level, because my mind needs a break, the emotional level. If there's anything going on that's, frustrating or upsetting, I get away from it, so my emotions are getting taken care of. Spiritual, maybe not so much. Energetic, definitely, because my energy levels definitely get depleted if I work for too long. So those little teeny breaks kind of just recharge my batteries and get me going again. So at the end of the day, after the work is done, what is really working for me right now is to go and do some exercise. And for me right now, I love Orange Theory Fitness. It's a good hard workout. It's demanding. It's so good for me physically and mentally, and of course then emotionally. So I go 3 days a week to Orange Theory Fitness. I work out for an hour. I feel freaking fantastic. And it helps me decompress. This is my first step in decompression and unplugging during after my work day. And a couple days a week I go to a hot yoga class, but I go to the classes, they start at the same time, I stop work at the same time, and I leave my house and I do some sort of exercise. So that, for me, I know for my whole life, exercise has been my balancer. It helps me de-stress, it helps me get clear, it helps me get focused, it helps me emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. And I feel so much better, in everything I do when I'm fit. So the new thing that I'm doing as part of my daily routine is not working in the evenings. As a solopreneur, it's really easy to, and especially because this is my office is in my house, so it's always right here. So it's really easy to go, oh, I'm just going to go check my email and do this one thing, and then 3 hours have gone by and it's 11 o'clock. So part of my new self-care routine is to relax and hang out with my family. My son likes to cook. We cook a lot together. We eat together. Sometimes we'll walk the dogs. after dinner and read books, whatever. But that's now becoming an integral part of my self-care routine, is to just not work at night. And then there's a whole bedtime routine, just getting ready for bed, flossing, brushing, all that kind of stuff. Relaxing. If I am particularly wound up, I'll do my energy routine again. I'll energetically disconnect from anything that's on my mind, so that when I go to sleep, I can sleep deeply, sleep well, and wake up restored, refreshed, and rejuvenated. So that's just how I put the pieces together. It might sound like a lot, but again, I think the demands on us as intuitives, as empaths, as animal communicators really demand that we find this balance in our lives and that we maintain it. And these daily routines will help us do that. The evening routine, again, is like an hour of exercise after work, but the timing of it and the effectiveness of it for really focusing my mind so I don't think about work, and then I'm physically relaxed, helps me really relax in the evening, and I'm sleeping way better. And I think that can only help me the next day to be even better at my work. So that's my daily self-care routine. And those are the reasons why. And that's, it's evolved over the years. It has not just been like, poof, I figured it out. But if you can start to look at those components and how can you balance all 5 of these levels of your being, for some people, it might be reading a newspaper or reading a Bible or finding an inspirational quote every day. That might be your spiritual piece. It can really be anything that you want, but really look to get all 5 of those levels, gearing up, grounding, centering in the morning, unplugging, unwinding in the evening, eating well, sleeping well, taking care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. And I think you'll see the positive effects of that ripple out into all areas of your life. So that's what I've got for you today, my budding animal communicators, and I hope it's helpful for you for finding the balance in your life. And I'd love to hear from you. What do you do for your daily self-care? And what's new to you? What do you think you can incorporate and add to your routine to help you feel even better moving forward? I'd love to hear about it. Leave a note in the comments. We'll have a chat below, and we'll all benefit. We'll all get new ideas and new ways of supporting ourselves while we support the animals. Thanks for being here, and have a beautiful day.